Does this look good in the viewfinder? Doop. Large Bible. Oh, you're perfect. Excellent. Alright, I'm gonna head out. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and start producing videos again for the next few weeks. So things will be a little bit different, a little bit shaken up for at least a couple more weeks. So you at least can be overjoyed in the fact that instead of having to stare at me like in real life, you can stare at me on the TV screen blankly and act like you know what I'm talking about, look scholarly. No. So let's go ahead and jump on into the lesson for today. I'm apparently wearing the same clothes here as I am there because it's early this morning and I decided to take it this direction. So yeah, I'm going to look exactly the same, no differences. You're going to go, why didn't you just tell us this story in person? And I probably will repeat it to you 4 times. So here's try number 1. Have you guys ever written a report? Like you sit down and maybe at the computer or at a pen and paper and you have a beginning, middle, and a conclusion, your introduction, your conclusion. And you have to figure out what you're writing about, and then you have to kind of structure out the way things are going to look and the way you're going to write things out. And it's just kind of an idea in your head, and then it kind of evolves and it kind of works itself over and over, and then eventually you come out with what you're going to do. Some people, when I was in junior high and high school, I would just start writing, and then whatever happened at the end, that's a little bit more irresponsible way to do it, but that's the way I did it. So, but regardless, you start off kind of with a blank slate, and then you kind of idea bounce like all the different kinds of things, and you end up with a finished product at the end, something that you turn in. So at the beginning you start off with less, and then you end up with a final product, and you end up with more. So Thomas Edison, when he was inventing the light bulb, he started off with something that he figured out how to, it's the incandescent light bulb. It's got a little filament that electricity goes through, and then it lights up, and eventually after time it burns out. That's the normal light bulb that you put in today. Well, Thomas Edison invented that, and when he invented it, he went through 6,000 different ways to try to figure out what kind of filament in this light bulb type device, what filament would last the longest and would be the most efficient. So he went through 6,000 different ways, and at the beginning he just had an idea kind of what he wanted, and at the end he gets this fully working product. He got this filament that lasted 1,500 hours and was reasonable to produce, and then he started producing them on a mass scale, and now today you can't go hardly anywhere without seeing one of his inventions, and it's been worked over, but it's just a huge marvel. And at the beginning he had very little, and he just had an idea in his head, and then he worked on it and put everything in to his invention, and at the end he came out with a finished product, and it was the best that he had come out with. It was the greatest of what he was doing. And so in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and he makes all these animals, and he makes all the earth, he makes the sky and the water and the stars, and then at the very end he created man. He takes some clay and some dirt and breathes life into it, and he creates man, and then he rests. So in the beginning God started off with the earth, and he worked his way up to the finale, and he made man. And at the beginning of a report, you start at the beginning, you're kind of figuring out what's going on, and at the end you end up with you end up with your greatest achievement as far as that report goes. And so you start off with nothing, and you end up with something that is the best in the kind of the fruition of the way your thoughts were working and the way you were thinking. And it also says in the Bible that we were made in the image of God. And so if the way we kind of work on a project and the way Thomas Edison kind of figures out to do a light bulb and comes up with the best at the end, and the way that everything seems to work with us, and we're made in the image of God, then that's kind of how God works too. And so we've got this creation that happens at the end of all creation, and it's the biggest and the best and the most important. So maybe you're thinking to yourself that you're not all that important, or that there's nothing all that great about you, or that you're not all that special, but in reality, if you look at the way everything works, you realize that you're worth something to God, because he waited till the very end, and he waited till the culmination of all creation to create you. And so we can take that and see that you're a little bit more important than we usually think. Sometimes we get prideful and we get big heads about stuff, but we are created by God, and we were created right at the end, and we are worth something to God. And God made each and every one of us unique and amazing. And so maybe if you're down a little bit today, or maybe if you're down a little bit anytime, just sit back and think of how important you are to God, and how much worth is been created into you. So that's about it. Thanks, Charlie.
You take care.
You're a scholar and a gentleman.
Oh, you too. I'll be back.
Okay.
I will be back.
Excellent.